Actually, I forgot where I was going with this. I lost it.
Yeah, that happens. Maybe it's the
Okay.
simulators trying to cut you out from like discovering the
It
truth.
is. Yeah, and putting it on here. That's what's going on.
Yeah. What's up, guys? It's your boy Nikhil, and we're back with another episode of Enter the Muse. Today, I got an American artist living in Paris, France, Lala Drona in the Muse. What's up, Lala?
Hey, Nick. Thanks for having me. Really excited to be here. I love muses, so really excited to have this conversation with you.
Cool. Speaking of muses, what I've kind of find interesting about your art is that it was described that like everything that you create exists in a mythological universe, right?
Yeah, so I first created a universe on a blog. It's called Based on a Fact, basedonthefact.com. There, I decided that it was after I finished studying creative writing in university. I decided like, okay, well, how am I going to keep this up, keep writing and all that kind of stuff? So I made a challenge for myself. Like every week I needed to write an article. I didn't know what it was going to be about yet, but eventually I started mixing in my real life and then I kind of fictionalized it, and eventually it turned into this universe where I was following this character, Lala Drona, so me. And this character, Lala Drona, she's an artist she runs a laboratory. And in that art laboratory, she does experiments on muses. And those experiments, they can sometimes be good. They can also be sort of abusive. But what she does is she is extracting inspiration from the muses in order to get inspiration for her real life artwork. So this full fictional universe online with what I call them drones, but it's just assistants in the laboratory and then muses. And there's all these crazy stories that happen with Lala Drona, and the paparazzi is like always after her. They're also, there's all these protests against muse abuse and things like that. And so for me, this is sort of just a metaphor for the creative process in my head. And so my real paintings and videos that I create are kind of this, the results of all of that.
Wow, that's like so mind-blowing. It sounds almost like your character is like breaking the fourth wall in a sense. It's like almost meta towards your life and this fantasy world.
I get inspired by anything that is within that transition from the virtual to the real, or the synthetic and the physical. Yeah, I think.
Do you believe that we in some kind of simulation in real life?
Well, I'll go back to where this all comes from as well. So when I was 16 years old, I was born with a breast agenesis, a unilateral breast agenesis. And that means that one breast grew fully and the other one didn't grow at all, like didn't develop at all. So when I was 16 years old, I had a medical operation to augment the side that never developed.
Is this something that's common? How many people?
No, it's very rare. I've actually never met anybody else who's had this. I've heard of people, but yeah, would love to meet somebody if they're out there.
So when the doctor actually gave you the diagnosis, how exactly did he say it? Because it's like so rare. So I'm sure not a lot of doctors would know how to treat symptoms such as that.
So like when you're 12 years old and your body's developing and we all feel weird and shameful and we don't know what's going on. Apparently all the doctors told me that it's very normal for women to grow one breast and then the second one will like catch up later. And so they were waiting and waiting until finally, even though I knew it was never going to, I just knew it. And yeah, they were just waiting, and then finally they're like, yeah, it's never going to grow. And I was like, oh, okay. And then after that, they're like, you just have to accept yourself the way you are. I'm like, yeah, that's great, but like it sucks to try to go swimming, or it sucks to try to do all of these or meet people and like get to know people and things like that.
What you're saying kind of reminds me of, I was listening to the radio the other day, and they were speaking of like what your insecurity in life and things. And like this one kid was saying that she's too fat and she's young. So at that age, it's kind of like a problem. And you're saying like how people grow and things. Like I remember when I was a kid, like my teeth only fell off when I was like 9. So, and then like it was like only one that fell off and the one grew and my one tooth was bigger than the other. And I'm like, will this catch up? I was like, and there was actually this old Hulk TV series. And then they had like Bo Bixby and Lou Ferrigno as a Hulk. And people were like, the one side's the Hulk and the other side's Bo Bixby.
Oh no, it's true. It's true. It's like that waiting. So you know what it's like. It's like, is this going to catch up or not? And I think it's those waiting periods. I don't know. For some reason, they inspire me. And I think having like one breast that was synthetic and one breast that was real, that's when I started thinking about the simulation. Like, okay, I'm simulating what a normal body should look like. I'm simulating what I'm supposed to be. And so that's how I started thinking about this change between the natural and the synthetic and the virtual and the real. And I think that we're all simulating something. I do think we live in a simulation. It's just what kind of simulation it could be. I don't know. All of us have our own experiences. And so in one way or another, yeah, society is a simulation. If you think about it, the United States is a simulation of Europe.
Oh, snap. Oh, wow. That's something that I never thought of. I never looked at it that way before.
Look up the philosopher Baudrillard.
Baudrillard.
He talks about Disneyland and how you're in Disneyland and you believe this whole universe, but then as soon as you go to the parking lot, you realize, okay, well, it's not real, but at the same time, it reinforces that it was a real world that you're in, and now you're in another real world, and we're like constantly going between these simulations of worlds.
That's kind of like the Truman Show in a way.
Totally.
Yeah, I actually wrote a short story about like how man in the future, like they evolved to like the level of like celestial beings, and at one point, like they were so smart, there was no like wars or anything, and they just got bored. So what these celestials did, there's like 5 celestials. They took like aspects of themselves and put it like they developed like a simulation where like so people could like relive like their lives or like any lives. They could like choose it like in a simulation almost. Like there's different storylines and things that you'd like go into. And then it's like at a point it repeats everything again, and like that's how like time works afterwards. And then like on the outside there's like this one of the people, the celestials, becomes corrupt and like invents its own simulation. So there's like different simulations run by different people, and in the simulations becomes like deeper simulations.
That sounds like reality to me, but I don't know. you just wrote like a nonfiction piece.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. No, it sounds like a cool story though. It's definitely, I love all of that dystopian, like kind of science fiction kind of stuff. I think about that all the time. Even I think about like deep fakes, and how we're getting to the point.
Did you see the Joe Biden one?
No, I haven't.
Oh, there's this he's a comedian. It's called like the Fresh Prince of DC. And like, it looks like the technologies that they use, it looks like a PlayStation 2 video game, like GTA, San Andreas on PlayStation 2. So just imagine like in 10 years time, what they're going to be able to do with deep fake.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, think about, like, imagine if for one reason or another we were being, okay, I don't want to like make anyone paranoid, but like, what if let's imagine a fictional world, like we were being conquered, or like there was some sort of, we were being conquered by, like, it could be aliens or it could be another country, doesn't matter, whatever, and like all we see on our phones and on our tablets and all that stuff, devices, is like the regular world, and like like there's regular Muse and regular everything, but like actually I forgot where I was going with this. I lost it.
Yeah, that happens. Maybe it's the simulators trying to cut you out from like discovering the truth.
It is. Yeah, and putting it on here. That's what's going on.
Yeah.
No, but no, yeah, the simulation and all of that stuff I think is super, super interesting, and yeah, I deal with it a lot in my work, and I also just I feel like alternate realities. And right now I'm working on the void. So I'm making all these paintings about the void because I guess just recently I just had surgery to remove the implant because I just don't want anything silicone in my body. And like, so I'm like, finally, after 17 years having that in there, I'm like seeing my body and confronting this lack. And so I'm doing all these I'm creating all of these void paintings, trying to get closer and closer until I can get to like the other side of the void.
So do these paintings like connect in a way? Does it like tell a story, like describe like the void?
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess quite literally, it's almost like I have one painting where, because before I only painted in gray. So there's one painting where the gray is being pulled away and you see a void underneath whatever that gray was. And then the next painting is just the void, and the next painting is the void even closer. So it's a bigger void until we get so close that you're entering the void.
Wow.
And so now my next paintings are going to be.
And what do you paint these on? Is it like different
frame
on canvas? Cool. Do you have a picture of this or?
Yeah. I can here. I'm in my workshop, so.
Okay.
This is the gray one with the gray coming off.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and then I'll show you really quickly. This is
so that's the first voids. One.
Huh?
So that's the first one, and that's like the last one, or is it like still getting in? How close are you from the void in this painting?
Well, I haven't finished it, but this is the closest I'm gonna get.
Wow. Whoa.
Yeah, and then after that, I'll be inside the void, and then we'll still see what's inside there, right?
Maybe the void leads you to like another simulation.
Yeah, or maybe there's also a void inside the void.
And it's a never-ending void.
Yeah, no, I'm sure it'll be some sort of alternate reality.
Catch full episodes of Enter the Muse on Spotify, Anchor FM, and Apple Podcasts. Enter the Muse on Spotify, Anchor FM.